Episode 10.
Hello,
Oh.
everybody. We're live. So, John and I decided to do something a little bit different with the real estate rundown. Get
real with
excited.
real estate.
Oh, get real with real estate. Sorry. Do you want to explain kind of what we're going to be doing?
So I've been doing them in the past, just me kind of holding my phone and doing my thing. And we thought it might be cool to incorporate us both into it because while we both work in real estate and are both real estate agents, we both have very different strengths and weaknesses and different perspectives on things. So we thought it might be fun to share the different perspective.
Yeah, so getting real with real estate up until this point has been more informative, and we're going to be kind of exploring not more controversial topics, but we're going to be kind of chatting about like the stuff that you guys think about as consumers, right? So buyers and sellers in the market, one of the biggest complaints about the real estate industry is that the majority of us as agents suck, and like we get that. We just had a pretty nightmarish deal that we're going to share with you guys some of the details on just momentarily, but one of the things that actually got John and I excited about even starting our real estate company back in the day was the fact that the first real estate agent that we had ever hired, the one that I hired when I was 21 to purchase my first house, misguided us and lied to us. And we didn't realize that until we were doing our, like learning our material. And I was like, John, that chick lied to us. And we realized. So because of like the lack of knowledge that typical consumers have about the real estate industry, which you're totally normal in that, like you along with everybody else on the planet does not understand how the real estate agency and like real estate business works, and ultimately that's where a solid agent can be an asset to you. And we wanted to encourage you guys with today's message, really, aside from venting, which we'll get into momentarily. We always say like the most frustrating part of our job is the other agents, right, babe?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like she said, the title of this video, I think it's like, your real estate agent sucks. We get it. Like, we seriously get it because we work with agents a lot more than you do. And a lot of them suck. Like, really.
I would say like a large percentage. And we deal with it. Like, we get frustrated and we talk about like, okay, this one did that, which is super annoying. Like, how can we be better? And we're constantly evaluating.
Yeah. And the reason for the video isn't necessarily to just vent about other agents. It's really more to drive home the fact that if you're a client and you're having an experience like this with your agent, like, get out. Seriously, there are much better agents out there that are happy to work with you. It kills us when we meet somebody like at an open house or just like out and about or whatever. And
ask me if I like my agent, John.
Yeah, and we're like, and we, are you working with an agent? And they say like, yeah, I'm working with them. Great. Like, how's the experience?
Okay.
We've literally had people who can't even remember their agent's name. That's how little like.
Or they'll be like, I'll be like, how many houses have you seen? Are you so excited? This is your first home. And they're like, yeah, but we keep like missing out. We haven't been able to see any houses.
Yeah, agents that don't answer their phones, don't answer their emails, like all this stuff. Like, there's no reason. Like, it's 2017. There's no reason that you should be waiting for stuff like that. Like, yeah, like text messages, phone. Like,
you and I both know that regardless of the message your agent is sending you, I can pretty much guarantee you they're carrying a smartphone around their pocket. So any excuse they're giving to you,
if they're not, you definitely don't want to work with them. Seriously.
If they're not, you need to get rid of that agent ASAP. But if they do have a smartphone in their pocket and they're basically feeding you excuses as to why they're not communicating with you or why they haven't responded to your email, that is full-on bullshit. Sorry for speaking my French. But straight up, like, there is not one instance that our clients have probably had where they have not been able to get in contact with us for 24 hours or more. And, like, if they haven't, I don't actually even know if that's happened. I don't think it has. If somebody was to not reach us in 24 hours, though, I think people would know it's a dire circumstance. Like, actually, recently I called out sick. Do you remember that? And I like, took 2 sick days in a row, and all of our, like, workplace friends and providers were like, dude, what's wrong with you? Because, like, we never take off ever. So the fact that I took off 2 sick days in a row, people thought I was, like, plagued. So anyways, long story short, we wanted to bring you this message because, dude, if your real estate agent sucks, we get it. We work with them all day long, and the majority of them do suck. Like, we are the fullest acknowledgers of that unfortunately the real estate agent or the real estate field, like the barrier to entry is pretty low, and a lot of people do it as side projects or like easy money, or it's like a hobby to them. Real estate, especially in a place like San Diego, your real estate agent can save you or make you tens of thousands of dollars. I have seen it firsthand because we're pretty damn good at negotiating being from New York. We've seen it time and time again. Our clients are constantly happy with us because we work really hard for them. The whole thing though, you as a client, whether you're buying, selling, investing, whatever it may be, you are so worthy of having an awesome home buying and selling experience. Like, do not let the voice in your head tell you, oh, it's fine, like, I can totally deal with this, like, it's not a big deal, so they don't answer my phone call. You are so much more worthy than that. Like, hold yourself to a higher standard that you deserve the best real estate agent that's out there. It does not have to be us. We tell clients all the time that we meet with, like, if we don't resonate with you, it doesn't have to be us. Like, when somebody comes to me at an open house and they're like, I love my agent, I'm like, yes, that's amazing. I am the first person who advocates for, like, a healthy and awesome client-agent relationship. Like, yeah. I will not step on another agent's toes. If they're taking care of their clients, that is awesome. I love that that client loves their agent.
Yeah, and just, like, don't settle, too. I mean, we have people who, you know, they go to talk to a lender, and the lender's like, oh, here, just work with this agent. And then they just work with this agent, and they're not happy, but they're just like, yeah, like, I'm just working because that's who I was told to work with. And it's like, well, you do have other options. Like, you have choices available to you. You don't have to just settle for someone just because they're who you were assigned to. If you're not having fun, if you're not feeling well taken care of, like, those are very good reasons to look at other options. Because
even if you're not having fun, like, ultimately, we met a guy recently at an open house who, in interacting with us, like, him and his whole family were stoked on getting out to buy houses. Like, we parted ways, hugging, so excited to get out looking at property within the next few days. Well, then it was weird. I called him and texted him a couple times, heard nothing. And 2 weeks later, just like, I think it was yesterday that I talked to him on the phone, he called me back and we chatted. Well, what had happened is he went in to talk to the lender. The lender said, I would prefer if you use my agent, who she connected him with. And for the last 2 weeks, they've been missing out on getting into houses. They haven't been super excited with their agent. I don't know who their agent is. I have no knowledge of it. But, like, he was really unenthusiastic. It was like the wind was totally taken out of his sails. It was like I was talking to a different human being than who I'd met at the open house 2 weeks ago. And when I asked him, I was like, why'd you decide to work with, you know, that agent if you're not having a great time? And he was like, well, I thought I had to. You don't have to do anything. Like, take away the should or shouldn't or have to or shouldn't have to. If your lender's insisting that you have to work with a certain agent, guess what? You get to find a new agent and a new lender, because that's not okay either. You deserve the best. You deserve, like, the most epic and fun house buying or selling experience. And, like, for recognition of what that looks like, check out agents' reviews. Like, I think we have up to 60 or maybe over 60 5-star reviews at this point. That's because people actually, like, enjoy hanging out with us and having a good time. Like, we clearly enjoy what we do. But, you know, if your agent that you're interviewing maybe only has, like, 1 or 2 5-star reviews, they could be starting out, so no big deal there. But, like, maybe ask them about it. Is there a reason they don't have a lot of, you know, positive feedback from past clients? Because really, we know, like, Yelp is kind of a way of the present and how we're going. Hey, guys, I see there's a couple of you watching. Please share and give us some love. We love you guys. And if you're enjoying the topic, we'd love if you had negative experiences that you want to chat about in the comments. Because ultimately, like, so we'll just give you a really quick example, and then we'll sign off. We'll keep this one to a reasonable time.
Well, the basis for this video wasn't to just vent. Well, it was a little bit, but really what prompted us to do this is we had a transaction just, like, it fell out this past week, and it was an absolute nightmare. Like, nightmare transaction. And it was because of the agent on the other side, honestly. And the scariest part of the whole thing was that he was self-brokered. So, like, Melissa and I, we hold a salesperson's license, so we technically work for a brokerage. However, this guy was quite literally self-brokered, so this was just one kid who got his broker's license. He's the only one who works in his office, and
he's the number one on his signature.
He literally knew nothing, like, quite literally nothing, to the point where he was asking us so many questions that it was uncomfortable. And we actually had to ask him, hey, like, you know, we really shouldn't be addressing these questions. Can you direct them towards your broker? And his response was, I am the broker. Ha, 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 ha. Like, he quite literally knew nothing. And, like...
And he thought it was funny. Like, it was humorous to him that it was, like, his lack of knowledge. And the fact that his clients continued to work with him, and he was like, it's no big deal. I'm the broker.
Yeah.
And it was blowing my mind.
Because his clients, they were buying a $700,000 plus home, and, like, getting, like, I quite literally would not hire this guy to do anything. Like, I wouldn't hire him to do, like, pick up my dog's crap. Like, that's how
it was honestly
incompetent
really,
he is.
it was really shocking to us.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where we were sitting and communicating about, like, how can we effectively... He actually called me saying that we had pretty decent customer service skills and then asked my feedback in how we would advise he give his clients a positive experience. That's how bad this was. So for me, it's killing me that here I am advising this agent on what he should be doing in the transaction when I so desperately just want to call his clients and be like, listen, it doesn't have to be me, but just find a new agent. Like, I didn't want his clients. Like, ultimately, because his clients choosing him as an agent doesn't make them my ideal client, I feel like. I don't think we'd resonate together. However, that client deserves so much better than that. Like, holy crap, he would reach out to us with such basic questions that I was like, oh my goodness, like, first of all, I think you need to retake your test to, like, be reminded of these legality issues. However, like, just the compliance and the level of incompetence was so worrisome to us that we're actually going to be pursuing it with the Board of Real Estate. However, like, that client, he, you know, in our transaction didn't cause a lot of detriment to his client because we're not that way and we didn't want to abuse his client despite the fact that communication through him was just a disaster. However, like, we could have. And there's agents who are going to take advantage of incompetencies like that. And that's the unfortunate thing, because thankfully he was on, you know, we were on the other side of the transaction and we like to keep things crystal clear and, like you guys know, no BS. But with other agents, he's not always going to run into that. And it was a really scary situation for his client to be in. John and I were appalled at the lack of communication and the lack of just diligence and regard for his clients. There was no regard whatsoever for his clients on multiple occasions, or for ours, for that matter. He was really inappropriate in communicating with our client a few times. So just, you know, we understand. We get it. And we also understand it can be uncomfortable to cut ties. Like, we've had to do it with clients who we potentially, you know, weren't seeing that we were the best fits for. It's uncomfortable to cut ties, but know that you are worthy of quite literally the best real estate agent that's out there, who's going to provide you guys with a really fun and exciting time. This should quite literally be one of the funnest times of your life, right, John? That's right. Show that energy. Okay, you guys, so we love you, and we ultimately just want you guys to have an awesome home buying or selling experience, or investing, if that's your thing too. And it crushes us when we see the incompetencies, and that's really why we work so hard, really trying to set a different standard. So let us know if you guys have any kind of horror stories or issues that you've had in the past. Put them in the comments. We'd love to hear them. And also, if you have ideas for future Get Real with Real Estate episodes, we'll be bringing these to you about once a week. So we're excited for the new talk show format. Let us know what you think. If you just want to see John's handsome face again, we can go back to that as well. But we thought this might add a new dynamic. Bye,
Later.
guys.